It's time for This
This
Week in
week,
Trading History,
your favorite,
right?
your favorite, Patrick.
Is it my favorite?
It is.
I
It is your
actually
favorite.
enjoy your WTF videos a little more than my talks, but anyway, it's
I
almost
just
my
like that
favorite.
we just get to press play and listen. That's the better part of it.
Yeah, that's the best part. It
But
just
that's
makes
what
it
I
so much.
do in this week in trading history, anyways. I just kind of
You just
get you going and then just kind of go drink my beer. So I'm here. I'm going to go back and drink my beer. Have a good
all
time.
right. You go
Patrick.
do that. So listen, but this is. I just wanted to really kind of go back and really put perspective on this idea that we're all waiting for a recession, right? And so it was. So going back in history, it was December 1st of 2008, not 2007. It was December 1st of 2008, where the National Bureau of Economic Research announced that officially that we were in a recession.
Right. And if we go
So
pull up this, oh, well, I shouldn't jump the gun. I'll let you
yeah,
go on, Patrick. Sorry.
so really, what it comes down to. And so let's just first of all, who is this National Bureau? So they were founded in 1920. It's a private, not-for-profit, nonpartisan organization dedicated to economic research, and they've become essentially over the last decade, sorry, century, um, uh, the authority that officially decides whether or not we're in the midst of a recession or not. And they have measured U.S. economic cycles going back to 1854, right?
Really?
And they've been tracking them since 1920.
I
And
think it's a
so
beer drinking club, is what I think it is.
it's a beer drinking club
Well, that's
because
just an excuse for them to
the
drink beer.
cycle turns every decade. So you've got a decade of beer drinking, and then you're like, oh shit, something's happening. Now we have to write up a little report. But anyway, they go and measure every one of these cycles, and they've looked at measured all the different business cycles, how many months each one expansion or contraction. Like for instance the trough to peak cycles, so often are, 69, 70 months. There's different lengths of these, and we're right now, based upon their count, in the longest business cycle expansion in history, longer than the March 2001 to November 2001. And that has a lot of people, including me, kind of um, in that camp of, well, listen, maybe we don't have a recession yet, but it's clear that we're in the eighth or ninth inning of this expansion, right? You can't say that this can't last 140 months or 150 months, but by the
Well,
length in itself.
Patrick, 1 second. Australia went 20 odd years without a recession.
Right, but now I think the U.S. is a little different, and there's a lot of history going back, and so to believe, look, yes, you're right. There is just because it's a certain length cannot guarantee its end. I'm not going to try to fight you on that. Ultimately, there needs to be some sort of a catalyst that begins a new economic cycle. Anyway, the point is we're in the longest cycle history, but let's go back and really this time in history, this is all about 2008. And it was in 2008, December 1st of 2008, where they released the press release that basically announced that the U.S. was officially in a recession. And what I want to first point out is what they define. So it says the NBER does not define a recession in terms of two consecutive quarters decline in GDP, which is the traditional metric. Rather, they say a recession is a significant decline in economic activity spread across the economy, lasting more than a few months, normally visible in real GDP, real income, employment, industrial production, and wholesale retail sales. And so they are not using just the GDP model, right? So that's very important to distinguish that. But the point I want to make is by the time that the data was released, that in fact the recession was there, the bear market was pretty much almost over.
Yeah. Well, like pull up a chart.
Right. And
We
so
what we were
here's
4 months away, right? One quarter,
right. And
basically.
so the announcement of a recession was essentially December first, right here.
Yeah, it was basically done.
The bear market was pretty much over, right?
There
And
was one last little
one
kind of
last little
reverse
thing, and in
reverse
fact, it
prairie
was a
dog.
buying opportunity by the
Yep.
time. And so, what I think we do is we spend a lot of time talking about whether a recession is coming or not. But the one thing that a lot of our listeners that are not veterans of the markets, because we have a lot of really smart listeners. Why they listen, I'm not sure, but but we have a lot of smart listeners. But for our newer listeners, the one thing that is common is everyone's like, a recession is coming, a recession is coming. We have to watch out for it. But by the time the official parties, and by the time you hear it on CNBC, by the time you hear all these people saying a recession is officially confirmed, it's not only been priced into the market. Like we're probably going to already be 6 to 9 months into a bear market by the time we're going to see all the data that these kind of people are going to turn around and say, oh, we're in a recession.
Yep. Completely agree.
This is why the smartest people in the room are using in macro a lot of leading indicators. They're looking for all of the things that normally characterize a recession and subsequently trade it that way many, many months, if not even a year before the recession is underway. And,
Like a
and
yield
this
curve
is
inversion.
and the yield curve, like not that we've never had this conversation before, but the point being is that there's a lot of leading indicators out there that are beyond yield curve inversion, that a lot of the really smart people are looking for. And if you're waiting for the National Bureau to come up with the announcement imminently, and that you're going to make your portfolio adjustments then, good luck. That's all I have to say. That's probably going to be a buying opportunity by then.
Well, I don't think that anybody from the NBER is going to be coming on our show
You don't think?
with you shitting all over them like that.
No, look, they're just factual. Oh, no, listen. If the mandate of the thing is to identify a recession officially, then you're going to wait for the information. They're not offering their service as a market timing tool. I'm pretty sure if they came on and they would say that this is not a market timing tool, us calling a recession. And
That's
I'm
true.
just all we're identifying and trying to help identify is the idea that you shouldn't be waiting for an official recession call to make your portfolio adjustment.
Got it. Well, thanks, Patrick.
Do you agree?
That's a great.
Do you agree?
I
Anything else
agree.
to add?
No,
All right.
I don't have anything else to add.